All right. Good morning, everybody. Morning, greatest fisherman, Andy, Matt, Mark, Steve, Sarah, and Kyle. How you guys doing? Uh, Had another good week of fishing offshore. Kind of mixed reports for inside the harbors, but still some fish being caught. Um, so I figured, every week I've been trying to remember to tell you guys about something that was important going on, and I always forget. But in Wisconsin, there was a proposal for lake trout, the ability to commercial fish for lake trout and harvest lake trout by the commercial fishermen. So, good news there. It was actually shut down for the time being. And the reason that we were against it, we don't really have a problem, at least personally, I don't have a problem with them commercial harvesting the lake trout. But the issue with the proposal was how the other parts of it. So in that proposal, they wanted to put uh, a limit on the amount of lake trout taken. Once that quota was hit, then lake trout harvesting for everybody would have been shut down. So if um, the commercial fishermen hit that quota in June, us sport fishermen and charters would not be able to harvest any more lake trout. And the other part of that was that if lake trout populations went down, then and they needed to restock, the extra lake trout needing to be restocked would come out of our Chinook stocking. So we'd have to reduce the Chinook stocking in order to get more lake trout in the lake. So that was why everyone was against it, but we're happy that right now it is not going through. The next piece of business is the Illinois trout stocking is delayed because of the warm water temperatures. So it looked like they were going to delay some all the way up until Halloween. And then I don't know the specifics on lake to lake, but if you're planning on fishing for the inland trout, you might need to wait a little bit longer. So that is it for news there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, I'm pretty happy about the commercial lake trout not going through. That was announced like 3 weeks ago, and I just kept forgetting to mention it during the live fishing report. Morning, everybody. Dallas, SBG, Bob. So that's it. Have any of you guys been out fishing lately? Let us know. If anybody are fishing right now, it's a really nice day out there. Temperatures are cooling down. I think it was in the 40s overnight. That's going to help things with the water temperatures, especially in the rivers. So happy to see that and some cooler temperatures going forward. I think it's going to lead into some good brown trout and steelhead fishing in the next couple of weeks. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks for that to really pick up. But once we get some good rain, which I think a little bit of rain in the forecast for next week, and then like 3 days in a row they're calling for rain the following week, that week of Halloween. So hopefully we get that because the rivers really need it, and that's really good timing to pull in a whole bunch of brown trout and some steelhead. So hopefully we get that and we can get some river fishing in. So, but yeah, there is some good offshore fishing this week and some decent fishing near shore. Not too much stuff came in the shop this week. It's just kind of that slower time. But I am getting in a whole bunch of stuff for the browns and steelhead, some new tubes coming in, some more jerk baits, some square bills, some more spinners. Just put in a big MEPS order in, so I'll get some flying C's and some aglias and a few other things. All sorts of stuff coming in. So that'll all start coming in next week. Some more flicker shad. So a bunch of good stuff coming for those browns and steelhead. I've got some bombers. Those are always some of my favorite. Brad's thin fish. So we're really gearing up for those that November and December fishing. It's not too far away. So that stuff should start coming in towards the end of the week, and it'll be ready to purchase pretty soon. So that's really it. There's not a whole lot going on. We'll get into the fishing report. Lauren gave me a report here. Let me pull up my phone. He was fishing out of Racine. Let's see what he said. He was in 90 to 125 feet of water. He didn't get to fish too long because it was too wavy, but 80 feet down was 51 degrees. He had 4 kings on a RV flounder pounder and a blue dolphin standard. So pretty good. He only fished for an hour before it got too windy, so that was pretty good fishing right there. Similar reports for down here when it was nice enough for guys to stick out there a little bit longer. They had limits, a lot of 15, 20 fish catches with the younger kings, a lot of 5 to 8 pounders, occasionally a bigger fish, but that's been the main, like the average size for the kings, with an occasional nice steelhead and coho as well. So, yep. White bass, let's see. White bass are spotty at Carlisle Lake in southern Illinois. Best spots are shallow on the riprap. That's all I have. I want to fish on the big lake, but I am a wind wave pansy. Yeah, well, this time of the year, it's usually pretty windy, so it's tough. But, yeah, you definitely need to be careful if you're not experienced out there. But, yeah, it's kind of the same deal everywhere. We need some rain. All the little lakes are low, so some rain would help a lot, and the cooler temperatures will start helping to get fish into these fall patterns, whether it's out on the big lake or on the inland lakes, because this time of year, October, is a great time to fish inland for everything. That those cooler temperatures really get the fish hungry. Like they know winter is coming, so they start feeding heavy, and it's a great time to catch big fish. So we need some cooler temperatures. We're getting them. We're starting to get them now. Yeah, hopefully cooler temps pushing some steelhead and browns. Yeah, they should. I mean, as it gets colder and more fish will show up. Some rain is definitely going to help get those fish in the rivers. But yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to right now. Is I'm looking forward to some of those browns and steelhead, especially like Thanksgiving and on. That's my favorite time to catch them. You can catch them on almost anything, but I really like catching them on jerk baits and stuff. And it seems like when the water gets really cold, that's when the jerk baits really shine. So yesterday was a tough bite. Racine from shore, 1 king on skein and lost another one on a jigging spoon. Yeah, that seems to be about the average report right now. I heard of some fish caught towards the mouth of Kenosha on spoons. I know a fish being caught on some reef runners, some fish on skein, but no big numbers for the most part. It's all just a few fish here and there. And reality is it's October 11th, so it's kind of what I expect. There's gonna be less kings. There's just less coming in. A bunch of they've been caught and snagged and are just dying on their own. So, but it's a good time to get a fish if we need some loose eggs. These fish are starting to loosen up their eggs now. So, like a couple weeks ago, most of the fish we were catching had skein in them, all that eggs in the membrane. But now those fish should have loose eggs, and so if you just want some loose eggs to type response apps, it's a great time to catch them, even if if it's kind of a nasty old king that you don't want to keep to eat. See you Tuesday night at the Salmon Unlimited meeting. Yep, I will be speaking at the Salmon Unlimited meeting this Tuesday at T Woods Bar in Wooddale. So if you guys want to listen to me talk down there, I'm just going to bring a bunch of stuff from the shop, some of the new stuff for this year that I still have. Some stuff, I'm going to get rid of some reels down there, some stubby Dodgers, stuff like that. So feel free to stop in, ask me a bunch of questions if you want. That's at the Salmon Unlimited meeting. So join Salmon Unlimited if you're not a member. That gets you a whole bunch of stuff. Whatever it is, $40 a year. You're going to get into the Salmon Unlimited Facebook group, get all those fishing reports from those guys. It's money well spent. So, and Jim says it is free to the public. So Jim is the president of Salmon Unlimited. So I know he's recruiting a lot of people right now. There's over 400 members. So yeah, stop by. That starts at 7:30. Should be a fun night. But yeah, that's all I have for fishing reports, just kind of a scattering of fish here and there. I know there's some cohos. It's actually the interesting thing about what's going on in Racine right now. I think today they're having their event at the Steelhead facility where you can see them spawn the fish and everything like that. But the interesting thing up there right now is the amount of cohos that have been processed or at least passed upstream of the weir there. So last I heard, it was like 2,600 cohos have been passed upstream, which is quite a lot considering there's no water. So kings, they haven't had too many. Last I heard, I haven't looked. You can actually go online and look at the numbers. I haven't done that, but the kings were far, far less. I think the kings are just staying downstream because of the low water, but the cohos don't seem to care about the low water, and they're just shooting right upstream. Hey, Ernesto, we'll see you there. Morning, Sean. What would you use to target coho this time of year? Well, it depends on if I'm fishing in the river or in the harbor. They'll eat a lot of the same stuff as the browns and the kings and everything. You don't always have to specifically target the cohos, but one of my favorite baits for targeting them are Wiggleworts and Brad's Wigglers. They're really good, just fishing super slow. So if you're not familiar with them, there's the short, stocky, deep diving bait, and cohos really like them, just like the slowest retrieve possible. Those are good. Spinners are good, like those Arctic spinners we have, the MEPS Flying Seas, like I mentioned earlier. Those are really good for them. They'll hit the eggs. They hit tube jigs. They'll hit spoons. You know, the half-ounce KO wobblers, the gold and orange one's always one of my favorites. They'll hit a little bit of everything. When you're in the river, then the tube jigs are really good for them, drifting tube jigs. If you're in a big enough area, casting spinners. That's where I don't use the Flying Seas as much because they're so heavy. I'll just stick to like a number 3 or number 4 Mepsiglia or Vibrex, something like that, a little smaller, something that's not going to sink quite as fast because you don't have to cast it as far anyways, and you're fishing so shallow. So that's how I target them. I've actually really liked fishing spinners for them up in the Milwaukee River because it's a bigger river. You can get a full cast in. But yeah, so we'll see how many more show up. But yeah, good numbers of them so far, and their meat stays good longer, and they have really good eggs in them. So take advantage of that. So we already had someone trying to get in. Luckily, they're not trying to rip the doors down like last week. So ASBG, thanks. Rob, Lori, Jason. So, all right. I think we're going to get into the giveaway here. So today I'm giving away, I have 6 of our box stuffer coho flies tied by Munda himself. So we have some of my favorites here. We've got the two-tone. We've got Munda's Mistake. I'm holding up to the wrong spot here. Munda's Mistake. Start to see two reflective ectoplasm, which was a killer for last year. And then we've got the Neil Diamond fly. And then we've got the blue, green, and gold. So the key word today is just the letters LMA, no spaces. Type that in if you want to win some flies. All right, SBG. So if you went out on the big lake, what would you use this time of year? Flasher fly, plug, spoons. If I'm going out deep for the younger fish, it is definitely going to be a combination of flashers and flies and spoons. I'm not running too many plugs. And it's always, pretty much for me, fishing out deep is always a combination of flasher, flies, and spoons. Like, it's rarely one or the other unless I'm just running mostly flies for spring cohos. So I always have something like a big 11-inch flasher down deep, like a deep rigger. And then I have usually flashers on my dipsies, and then everything else is going to be a spoon. So I'm not going to change that much up this time of year. If they're really leaning one way or the other, then I'll take a couple of those other baits out and switch it out. But other than that, everybody I'm talking to right now is catching on something a little different. I know it's been a good spoon bite. I've also had guys tell me they've caught the majority of their fish out there on flies. So you just got to try a little bit of each, and sometimes it changes throughout the day. All right. Any other questions while we're getting all the comments in for the giveaway? What brand and test wire do I spool my wire diver rods with? It's all either Morgan's or Blood Run 30-pound wire. They're pretty much the same wire. I like them. I think that's the best stuff out there between the two of them. Torpedo is very good as well, but that's what I spool up by default. Now, if you want something else on there, if a customer requests a different kind of wire, we're always happy to accommodate. And those are usually 1,000 feet of wire, and then the backing depends on the size reel. So like 30 size reel, you get like 60 yards of backing. If it's a 45 size reel, you get like 150 yards of backing. All right. All right. Well, we'll start wrapping it up. We're going to give everybody another minute to type in LMA. We'll see who the winner is. And actually, by the way, Jay Cunningham, if you're watching, I still have your reef runners here. Give me a call. I know he called last week and I was busy with customers, so I didn't get to talk to him. So give me a call today if you're watching, and we can arrange getting you those reef runners from a couple weeks ago. All right. So far, how many do we have? 50 entries, 30 entries. More people keep coming in there. All right. All right, I think we'll choose a winner. And it is Richard Fafinski. So congratulations, Richard. Give me a call at the shop and we can arrange how you're going to get these flies, whether you want to pick them up or you want me to ship them to you. So awesome. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully we'll have some new stuff here for next week that I can show you. And then actually I think that week of Halloween we'll be shortening the hours a little bit. So usually slows down and I start hunting and stuff. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be stopping at the store, I'll post the new hours, and then it'll probably just go from Halloween or that week of Halloween starting on Monday for about 2 weeks, and then we'll get back to regular hours. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. You guys have a good weekend and good luck fishing.